What is going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Roach Podcast. Glad to be back with you once again. And this episode is strictly about the Toronto Raptors, okay? My Toronto Raptors, because I was actually supposed to do this segment on the last podcast I did, but I got so wrapped up in all the other stuff that I was talking about, I just completely forgot to do it, to be completely honest with you. Okay, so I will be getting in to a whole bunch of things, the Toronto Raptors. But before I do, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, share, and rate the podcast. Your support helps the channel grow and reach more listeners just like you. You can find me on Instagram at Mike Roach7, on Twitter, known as X now, at Mike Roach23, and on TikTok, folks, the one Mike Roach. And be sure to check out all my recent videos that I've uploaded to the channel. There's plenty of content that you don't want to miss. You can also find me on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. All right, folks. The Toronto Raptors. Let's get into this. This isn't going to be a long podcast. Don't want it to be too long. Just want to get straight to the point on a couple of things here. Okay. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about some things that I like and something that concerns me just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Because right now the Raptors are on a 3-game win streak, which is good. We'll drop a bomb. I always like winning. Okay. I always like winning. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games now. Okay. And that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay. They beat Golden State on the 13th. They end up beating the Boston Celtics right after that. Then they took an L to the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat Orlando, and then you beat Atlanta twice back to back in Atlanta, by the way. Okay. So that's good. The Raptors have won their last 5 out of 6 games. I'm not mad at that. But I mean, we know the mission here, folks. The season is already a wash. I'll get back into that. Here's what I do like. The Raptors now have seemed to cultivate relationships amongst each other. They've built some good rapport with each other, and I like that, right? It's something that you're going to need when you want the Raptors to actually start winning, and nobody wants to see that this season. Let's just be completely honest here. They know what the mission is. The season is already over for the Toronto Raptors. It's all about what's going to be happening in regards to development and what they get in the draft. Let's just cut to the chase and stop the BS here. Okay? Stop the nonsense. We don't have time for it. Let's just get to the meat and potatoes here. This is about what they can get in the draft now at this point while we see how these guys develop. That's really what it's about. And I think if you're a player who's playing in the league, you pretty understand what this is about now at this point. You know it's about next season. Not necessarily if they're making a championship run, no, but you want to be a you want to be a team that's improved, right? And maybe make the playoffs because there are a lot of bad teams in the Eastern Conference as of right now. And so you want to be able to see what you can do with the team that you currently have. If you're healthy, by the way, if you're healthy, I mean, if you look at, excuse me, folks, choking here. Look at the team you got right now. And I'll speak about Scottie Barnes and RJ Barrett in a little bit. But healthy Jakob Pertl, Grady Dick in that lineup as well. We still haven't seen Emmanuel Quickly. Haven't heard a lot about him the entire season. Don't really know what's going on with him. They've been pretty hush and quiet there. But on top of that, you're getting a lot of good play from your bench right now. And I'll be talking about some of these guys in just a little bit. But overall, I mentioned to you, they've built some good rapport with each other, and they're starting to find some chemistry. So I do like that. But I mentioned to you, this is about development for now and this entire season, pretty much. We knew it wasn't going to be good. We knew it wasn't going to be good, but the games at least have still been fun to watch for the most part. And I'm going to get into some numbers and show you a few things as well. The Raptors The reason some people get concerned like me is because you see the potential that some of these guys have on this roster, right? When you're looking at guys like RJ Barrett and Scottie Barnes, I'm gonna drop a bomb for those guys because those guys are just flat out hooping. And guys like I'm gonna talk about Scottie Barnes first, okay? Let's look at some of his numbers. Can I share this screen with you? I think I can. Let's do that. Screen share. All right, let's go here. So Scottie Barnes, 17 points. What is this? Nonsense. 20 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 46% from the field. I mean, yo, Scottie Barnes is like he's nice. He's really nice. And what I like about Scottie's games overall is that he's playing on both ends of the court. And he's leading by example. Okay? And after the first game against the Atlanta Hawks, he kind of called his teammates out just a little bit. And he was kind of upset about what he was seeing on the defensive end. I'm going to play that clip for you actually quickly. Let's do that quickly. And I'm going to get right back into the numbers. Where are we at here?
Contested shot amendment and finishing the possession from the rebound.
Where do you feel like the lapse kind of in that third quarter happened and kind of carried into the fourth, but you guys were able to get yourself out of it? But where was that lapse originally?
We always talk about turning the ball over. Once we start turning the ball over, they get transition points. There was some blow-bys that happened, and we just got to take pride and guard on defense. And what's in there? We know we got some people got to be better at it, and we got to take that as a team and go to the next game and wear that on our chest. Be proud to be able to guard out there every single day and do better.
So when you hear Scottie Barnes say something like that, I'm impressed by that, by the way. Okay. I'm impressed by that because Scottie Barnes is being a leader and he's leading by example. And that is key. That is a must. And you got to have somebody's got to do it. And it can't just be the old veteran that sits on the bench. I don't care. I'm not talking about specifically just for the Raptors. I'm talking about any team. All right. It's nice to have somebody sharing that with you when you're a veteran on the bench. But it also has to come from a guy who's actually doing it. Okay. There's a difference. It's got to come from a guy who's doing it as well. And Scottie Barnes is doing that right now. Okay. Scottie, let's look at this these are over his last 10 games, but let's look at some of these numbers going back from that, from winning these last 5 out of 6. Okay. Share this screen with you. Look at some of these numbers here, folks. You go back to the game against Golden State, 23 points here, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Go back against Boston, 18-9. His playmaking is very good right now. Scottie is a very unselfish player, which is what I like about him the most. And he's really just a dog on both ends. 17, 8, and 11 against Orlando, 25, 6, and 3 against the Atlanta Hawks in the first game, 24, 7, and 12 in this last game. Scottie is just being going in, and he's been very good. So I'm happy from what I'm seeing out of Scottie Barnes right now. And going back, I was talking about RJ Barrett as well. Now, I love RJ Barrett personally. He's a leading scorer for this team. He's scoring 22.1 points per game right now. And it's not just the scoring that I like from RJ Barrett. It's his playmaking. First of all, 6.7 rebounds per game, 5.8 assists per game, almost shooting 50% from the field. Okay. Let me show you some of that. let's go into RJ's numbers a little bit here. In that same timeline against the Golden State Warriors, 15, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Move on to Boston, 22, 8 assists, 10 rebounds. 19, 8 rebounds, 2 assists against the Orlando Magic, 15, 3 and 6. Hawks, 23, 4 and 8 against the Hawks in game 2 of the back-to-back. I love RJ. RJ's a dog, man. And what I like about him is that he never seems to lose confidence. Whether he plays well, whether he doesn't, at the end of the day, you know he's still going to come out and be aggressive. And that's what I like about him. Okay, so overall, these two guys are balling. I'm going to drop one more bomb for these guys. And honestly, I'm proud for what I'm seeing from both of them. And I just hope they keep it up. Okay. And the last thing about Scottie Barnes, what I love about him, his vocalness. Okay. He's very vocal with his teammates. He's loud. He's always yelling at guys. He's making sure they're all communicating. Very important part if you're a leader of this team. Okay. Any team, any sport, doesn't matter. You got to be loud. You got to be communicating well with your guys to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Now, the next thing I want to move on to is the Raptors bench. Okay. The Raptors bench has been balling. Okay. Specifically, you look at a guy like Chris Boucher, Jamal Shed, Davion Mitchell, Jacoby Walter, Bruce Brown is back in the fold now. And they've been giving the Raptors team a real boost. Okay. Chris Boucher has been just flat out balling. Okay. You look at his numbers over the past, 10 games? He's averaging 12 points a game, 4.7 rebounds. Chris Boucher is balling 80% from the free throw line, 55.3% from 3-point range. He just looks confident. He's not forcing up as many shots as he used to, playing in better flow and rhythm of the game. He's just coming in, being that big ball of energy that he usually is. Okay. And Jamal Shed, Davion Mitchell, defensively, those guys get right up in your grill, which is what you need if you're the Toronto Raptors. Put a whole bunch of pressure and defensive efforts on multiple different positions at the guard area. Those guys are key right now coming off the bench, especially when you don't have a Quickly. You know, Davion is starting, and then you got Jamal to back him up. Those guys are putting in work, folks. Those guys are putting in work. You don't want to be taking them for granted right now. These guys have proven to be strong defensive players. They haven't been too shabby on offense either, but as of right now, you're not really looking at them to go off in regards to scoring. You just want to see pressure defensively and make guys uncomfortable from the opposing team. That's what you want to see for these guys. If they're open, you hope that they can knock down shots, get themselves to the basket, create for the rest of their teammates. But overall, what I noticed the most defensively, they've been really good. And Bruce Brown, he's been back in the lineup. Just a solid veteran, knows what he's doing, can shoot the ball, get to the rim, can guard as well. Just calm and under pressure. You know, he just does his thing. He's just a solid basketball player, knows exactly what to do when he's out there. And I'm happy he's back in the lineup because he does bring you something in regards to winning basketball games. Okay. Bruce Brown is a guy on any team who will get minutes because, damn it, the guy just knows how to play. Jacoby Walter is another guy. Now, that trade deadline is coming up. And if Bruce Brown gets moved, which a lot of us do believe at this point he will get moved, we don't know, but that's what we're assuming. That's what it looks like. Jacoby Walter is a guy who's going to be getting a lot more minutes. That's the guy I want to see more. I like his game. Can guard, can shoot a little bit. He's not shy, can get to the basket, finish strong, can play make. Overall, he just looks like a damn good player. And I, for one, want to see more of the kid. Okay? But overall, here's the deal. Okay? In the end, the Toronto Raptors, they're 13-32. Okay? They're obviously one of the worst teams in the league. And talked about it before. You're looking at the lottery here. Okay? You're looking at the lottery here. You're trying to get anywhere close to top 3. Damn it, you want the number 1 pick. Okay? Because Cooper Flag is there and he's waiting. He will be the number 1 pick. But even if they don't get the number 1 pick, if you can get in the top 3, and get somebody to what you already have right now, I mean, listen, I'm sure the city would love that. I mean, considering the fact that we're already one of the worst teams in the league this far through the season, you might as well just stick with the plan. You might as well just stick with the plan here, folks. I mean, we've already come this far, right? So at the end of the day, you got to be careful because you still want to get one of those top damn draft picks and add it to what you got already now. So, folks, if you enjoyed today's topics, please sure to take a moment, subscribe, like, share, and rate the podcast. Your feedback is always welcome, and it helps me reach more listeners who are just as passionate about these topics as you are. Don't forget to connect with me on social media. Okay, that is important. At Mike Roach 7 on IG, at Mike Roach 23 on X, the one Mike Roach on TikTok. Remember to check out some of my recent videos for more engaging content. You can also listen to me anytime on Apple or Spotify. And folks, I will be back again soon with another podcast. I talk all things sports, culture, politics. You never know what you're going to listen to when it comes to the Mike Roach Podcast. It's your boy, and I'm out.